Hello, it's Thursday the 23rd. I'm FxPlew and this is the market brief. So the turnaround in the UK economy has been really rather surprising. Both manufacturing and services output have both returned to expansion. The government has found some surplus spare cash, down the back of the sofa perhaps, and the nurses have called off their strike next week. I mean, say it under your breath, but there's a feeling the country might finally be back on the right track. Citibank have been on. Their latest economic forecast called UK inflation down to 2% in the autumn. That's assuming the Bank of England holds its nerve with further rate hikes. That would take us further into restrictive territory and dampen demand even more and help pull back inflation. So fingers crossed on that one. Over in the US, there are growing fears of another Cold War with Russia. Russia's been on the loopy juice again. They're accusing the West of leaving them no alternative than to invade Ukraine in order to protect its borders. Biden has countered, vowing to stand shoulder to shoulder with the European allies to protect NATO's eastern border. And then China has piped up. I mean, you've got to love the Chinese. Senior diplomats and government officials chose to hold their first meetings with the Russians in several years. Timing is everything. There was nothing overly antagonistic here, but it certainly served to fuel fears that they may fancy a proxy war with the US. Back on home soil, the Fed minutes showed the vote tip away from 50 basis points, due mainly to a marginal increased risk of recession later in the year. But with Powell's commitment to data-driven decisions, we may see another 50 basis point rate hike at the next meeting, which is towards the end of March. Much will depend on the continued strength of employment data and indeed whether inflation continues to fall. Watch that space. In the market, sterling is rebuilding a pretty solid base as it moves away from 120 against the dollar. We topped out at 121.35 yesterday. We're struggling slightly against the euro though. That's as a single currency is helped by prospects of higher interest rates there as their own economic recovery begins to bite. We open around 120.60 against the dollar. We're about 113.65 against the euro, and euro dollar is around 106.15 this morning. That's it from me. Have a great day.
If you do not have a clue, then just tweet through and ask FxPlew.